Hi, I'm Meka Albania Osher Al, and welcome. Welcome to my live. We're broadcasting live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, on two YouTube channels. I'm broadcasting on Michael Sewell Sr. and also on my Now Living in the Philippines. And I'm also broadcasting on Instagram. So I'm very excited about that. This morning I got up and, I found out yesterday we have no water. Not in the Philippines where I live, but in in my house. And why that is? Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Because my water was cut off for lack of payment. My water was cut off because I did not pay the bill. Well, I didn't get a bill, so I couldn't pay a bill. If I didn't get a bill, I couldn't pay it. So, but here, if you were following me live, I would have told you that in the Philippines, the water comes on around 4 a.m. in the morning, and it cuts off at around 6 a.m. So you have a system in the back where you have like a tank filled up, and that can last, a long time. A tank it can last a long time. So for the past 2, maybe 3 days, we've been working out of the tank, and we didn't realize that the water was cut off. So yesterday I went to try to use the water, and the water is cut off. There's no water. So I went to go visit the tank, check the tank, open it up, look in it. It was all the way down to the bottom. Ooh, oh my goodness! I gotta start this again. You guys probably couldn't hear me. I go all this time and didn't have the mic on. I didn't realize, so I apologize. So why don't we restart? Let's restart this whole thing. Let's restart this whole thing. This is crazy. All right. So TikTok, you were able to hear me. Not TikTok. Instagram, you were able to hear me. And Now Living in the Philippines, you were able to hear me. But Facebook and Michael Sewell Sr., you weren't able to hear me because the mic was off. So just to wrap up what I said, just to kind of catch up on what I just said, is that I realized, ladies and gentlemen, that my water is off, that I have no water in my tank. And I have no water at all. We went to use the water and there's no water. So if you've done my live, you would have heard me tell you that we have a tank system, and the way the Philippines do it here, they actually let you manage water very well. The Philippines manage water very well. You don't get the luxury of running water every day, washing plate with your water running, or taking a shower with your water running. You get the luxury of managing the water. So between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., that's when they give you the gush of water, which refill your tank every day, which keeps you going for a day. But you have more water than a day, as I can tell, as I know. So for the past 3 days, I've been running out of my tank. I didn't realize it, that my water was cut off because we didn't pay the bill. Well, we didn't get one, so we couldn't pay a bill if we didn't get one. So how it actually works here in the Philippines, if you live in a gated community, or what we call a subdivision, the bill would come to the security, and the security will bring it to each other's door, or maybe you can go over there and ask the security, for the bill or whatever the case may be. But we never got one, so we don't have water. So we called, we're getting it paid today. But the problem is, I gotta wait now maybe 2-3 days before I have water. But the good thing is, I grew up in Jamaica, so I kind of understand how these things work. And I got 2 drums. I got 2 extra drums, what I call my backup drums, so they're outside. And that's what we're working from now. But you got to flush the bathroom, and you have to, bathe in the bucket. But hey, listen, it is what it is. The good and the most awesome thing about this is that, guess what? Guess what? We got water. We still can do what we need to do, and that's the most important thing. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's get to it. So this morning I got up early, and I decided, I had a conversation with the wife and with my daughter, and just talking a little bit, and I realized something, ladies and gentlemen. Relationships and relationships is something that most people don't really spend time talking about, because you might be in one, or you're not in one, or you're looking for one. and you might be in one and it's not going really well. You might be in a marriage, it's not going really well. You have a partner, it's not really going really well. And nobody really take the time to really talk about these things. So my first live on my new channel, Now Living in the Philippines, yes, Now Living in the Philippines. If you have not followed me and like and subscribe, please go like and subscribe to that page, Now Living in the Philippines. This is my new page, my new YouTube channel, and it's doing very well. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting that, because here's at the end of the day, man, it's just beautiful. I'm able to just drop content, and I have a lot of content coming out. So I want to take this time. It's early here in the Philippines. It's now 7:22 a.m. in the Philippines, and I know in the States and other countries it's probably p.m. So for those who are in the States and able to hear this, I'm hoping that it will help you a lot. So now let me put a disclaimer out there. I am not a therapist. I am not a therapist. I'm not educated in this, in the terms of I don't have a PhD. I don't have a master's degree, a bachelor's degree in relations or relationships, but I do have common sense and I have experience. So I'm speaking to you based upon common sense and experience, my experience. I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 in a couple of days. I'm excited about that. And you got to understand the story behind that. You see, I never thought I would live to see 25. I thought I would die at 24. So now to find out I'm 2 times the age, my life expectancy, it's beautiful. I'm excited. This is just for me excited. And one day I'll tell you the story why I'm so excited about that. All right. But I'm speaking to you, I'm coming to you from experience. And I can tell you I have a bunch of failed relationship before I found the one that truly has set me free, my heart and my mind. Okay. So I think I'm qualified. I'm qualified because I've been around the block several times. A bunch of failed relationships, and I've learned from every single one of them. I have a relationship where I gave my heart and was burnt several times. I have a relationship where I didn't care, like I just doing my own thing, and it lasted a long time, but it just, there was no real passion in there. There was no relationship there. There was no real connection there. So, that failed. And now I'm married now for 19 years. Been with my wife 24, 25. It's around about 23. I was still trying to figure out how long I've been with my wife, because I'd known her some years before I got married to her, and we started our relationship. I believe from the first time I saw her, I believe I started my relationship with her, because I said some things in my mind that I accomplished later on. But I knew that I wanted to be with her. I knew she was special. So I would say my relationship started with her from the time I first saw her. So we're going to look at it today, and I'm going to give you my experience, and I'm hoping that this will help somebody. And like I said, this is my first live on Truth Matters, on Truth Matters Broadcasting. No, not Truth Matters. Sorry. My first live on Now Living in the Philippines. My first live on Now Living in the Philippines. You're welcome to join us. We're on our way to being to get into 4,000 subscribe. So please help us to get to 4,000 for subscription. Now, I know a lot of you have been watching the page. So when I do the analysts, I realize that about 87% of you are watching my page, or past my page, or glance on it, but you have not subscribed. You have not hit that subscription button. So go and hit that subscription button now. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can get content like this. All right, let's get into it. Relation and relationship. So let's look at the word relate first. Because when you're thinking about a marriage, or when you're thinking about a partner, someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, someone you're hoping to have children with, someone who you can see your children in their eyes, someone you can grow old with, someone who you can exchange teeth because you put the wrong teeth out, pick up the wrong teeth and put it on, someone you can put the wrong eyeglasses on because you took her. In other words, what I'm saying, you're growing so old with that person that person has become part of you. That person is you, right? This is kind of a relation and relationship. I'm going to discuss with you. Like I said, I believe I'm qualified because of my experience. So we're going to look at it. So what it is to relate, because most people in a relationship, but they can't relate to each other. They cannot relate to each other. They're in a relationship, but they can't relate. Are you in a relationship and you fall in love and you're in love, and then guess what? It's dingling down and you're drifting apart. You don't even know why. You can't save it for some reason. But you just feel like you're growing apart, and then you start to look elsewhere because the grass is definitely greener on the other side. You hear the saying many times, the grass is not greener on the other side. Or you think the grass is greener. I'm telling you that the grass is greener on the other side. The problem is that once you get over there and you start eating that grass, trampling that grass, feces in that grass, you're going to realize that the grass is going to get brown and stale. So we're talking about experience here, ladies and gentlemen. Experience, we're talking about experience here. And you're going to experience time. You're going to experience time and change. You're going to experience change. And you're going to experience a lot of things that you now have to adapt to and is able to relate to. Because if you can't adapt, then you can't relate. So adaptation is a must when it comes to relationship. Because if you don't adapt, you're going to fail in your relationship no matter how long you're in it. Some people stays in their relationship because it's profitable. Some people stay in a relationship because they don't want to start over. They don't want to start over. Some people stay in a relationship because it's cheaper to keep her. You know what I mean? So, but these are not the reasons. These are not the reasons to stay in a relationship. The reason to stay in a relationship is because you truly love the person. And you must understand what love is. Most people do not understand what love is because they believe love is a feelings. Most people today believe that love is a feelings, especially women. You believe because you feel certain things and you're emotional about certain things. You think you're in love. That's not love. Feelings and emotions are not love, ladies and gentlemen. It's wrapped up in love, but it is not love. You see, your feelings can change. You see, 1 minute you can feel good, the next minute you feel bad. 1 minute you feel happy, the next minute you feel sad. 1 minute you're hot, next minute you're cold. Feelings change. It's not love. And anything that can change is not love. I know this seems kind of crazy, right? Anything that can change is not love because love does not change. Think about that for a minute. Now, let's talk about your emotion a little bit. All right? How's life in the Philippines? It's very well awesome. You got to go watch my my show, my YouTube channel. Just go down and look at the page, man. I love it here. I love it here. I should have moved here 10 years ago. This is beautiful. This is true life, true freedom living in the Philippines. So, ladies, your emotion goes up and down like a wave. It's like a roller coaster. You cannot control your emotions. You think you can, but you cannot control your emotions. Your emotions and your feelings is struck by something. Something spark that. Something. Your feelings is how can I put this in a most delicate way? Your feelings and your emotions is like a wound. It's like a wound. Like someone struck you, boom, and your feelings and your emotion rise, and it falls. Depending on what hits your emotions, depending on what hit your feelings will make it rise and falls. And if you're basing your relationship on your feelings, then you're in for a long ride of roller coaster, which is going to end up in you losing that relationship. So you have to put your feelings and your emotions in check. Now, your feelings and your emotions, this goes for men and women. Your feelings and your emotions are valid. I want you to hear me now. Please hear me. Your feelings and your emotions are valid. That is what you're feeling. is what's in your heart. Your heart is not your chest. Your heart is not what's beating in your chest. That heart pumps blood. It cannot think, it cannot reason. So when someone says your heart, if you think it's here, you're missing the mark. It's not here. This has no thought pattern. It can't remember nothing. It can't think about nothing. It can't process nothing. This heart pumps blood. That's all it does. That's all it does. It pumps blood through your body. It's a mechanism that is on autopilot. It just, that's its job. Your heart is your mind. It's your mind, ladies and gentlemen. And so these are the good things that's going to help you in your relationships, how you're thinking. And so a man thinketh, so is the man. So what is consuming your mind? Your emotions and your feelings is led by the way you're thinking. And you can only think based upon what is happening to you or around you. You are being influenced. So if your feelings and your emotions are influencers adaptation. You're adapting to what's happening towards you, or to you, or around you. And that's what sparks your emotions. Like a movie. You know, when you go to a movie, that's why they call it a movie. Because it moves you. It moves you emotionally. It's causing you to think. You know, when you hear when you go to the movies and you hear like the sounds that is, you're thinking, George, something's gonna happen. You're getting ready to be startled. It's emotions. So your emotions and your feelings is based upon what you see, hear, touch, and feel. It's based upon your senses, and that is not love. If you can understand that, your relationships are gonna be great. It's gonna be different. It's going to be amazing. Okay? Your love. I'm going to tell you what it is now. Come on now. I'm giving you the keys now. These are something I've experienced in my life and has changed my life dramatically. That's why I have so many failed relationship leading up to the relationship I have now of 19 beautiful years married. In the 19 years we've been married, we probably argued strongly maybe 5-6 times in 19 years, because I understand emotions, I understand feelings based upon my relationship, and I taught that to myself and I taught that to my wife about how to understand her emotions and her feelings. And by looking at it from the perspective, look at your emotions and your feelings like you're looking outside from inside. Not that you're outside looking in, but you're inside looking out. So you have to separate your decisions from your emotions. Your decisions from your feelings. Your feelings and your emotion, ladies and gentlemen, will spark your decisions. You know why this is important? Because love, ladies and gentlemen, is a decision. There it is. I can stop now. I can go home. I can go relax. You're 60 years old today. Happy birthday, Rebecca. Rebecca is 60 years old today. Wow. I'll be 52 in a couple of days. So Rebecca, thank you for being 62. This world is not the same without you. So I'm gonna sing you a happy birthday if you don't mind. All right, watch this now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rebecca. Happy birthday to you. We are happy that you were born, Rebecca. We are happy that you were born. We are happy that you were born. My computer's down here. Let me just get it right back up. I forget I gotta keep touching this thing. I'll turn off the, yes, there we go. Right? So, love is a decision. Just like happiness is a decision. It's not It's not a feeling. It is a decision. You can decide to be happy. Regardless of your circumstance, you can decide to be happy. You can decide to be or to give your love. You can decide to love someone in spite of their outcome, in spite of themselves. Now, watch this. Before you enter into a relationship with someone, you must first ask yourself the question. And this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very important. You must first ask yourself this question before you enter into any relationship with anyone. This is why you date someone. You date them to get to know them. Dating is not, oh, I get to know you to see if I can. No. When you date someone, you're getting to know whether or not you can put up with their garbage for the rest of your life. So before you enter into a relationship with someone, or if you're in a relationship with someone right now and it's going bad, or even if it's going good, if you have not asked yourself the question, can I deal with this person as they are for the rest of my life? And I'm not talking about the good stuff. Everybody can deal with the good stuff. You see me, I'm look how nice I look right now. Look at me. I look shaved up. I look really nice. But can you deal with me if I'm not shaved up? If I'm looking raggedy and my spiky? You like me when I smell good and look good, but would you like me if I'm down in the gutters? Would you like me? You like me now because I'm working, I'm making money, but would you like me if I'm depending solely on you because I got no money or my leg is broken or whatever the case may be? Most people don't ask themselves that question. They just see the person, look at the outward expression of the person, how the person make them feel. Yeah. Oh, I just love the way he makes me feel. Oh, I just love the way she makes me feel. I feel alive around her. I'm telling you, she's not always going to make you feel that way. And he's not always going to make you feel that way. Sometimes she's going to piss you off. He's going to piss you off. She's going to piss you off. There's sometimes you're going to get ticked off. And you deal in that moment with that person. And that's why before you get into a relationship with someone, or if you're in a relationship with someone, you need to step back a little bit and you gotta look at everything negative about this person. Everything negative you can stand. Because the things that you can stand now may become a hindrance for you later. You might love how the person is quirky and love to laugh and loud and obnoxious. And that could be the thing that attracts you to the person in the beginning. But over time, it becomes so, it's just too much already. Shut down already. Now you're trying to change the person. And how many of you are in a relationship where you're just trying to change the person? Oh, I wish he wears this clothes. I wish if he'd go get a haircut. I wish if he'd this. I wish if he'd that. I wish if he would just do this. Oh, if he would just do that. After being with a person for some time, now you're trying to change them. Because you forget who they are when you first got with them. And you've never made the decision, and that's why you're trying to change them. You can't change a person. You can work very, very hard trying to change a person. You cannot change a person. You cannot. I want you to understand and hear what I'm saying. You cannot change anyone. But you can become a person that when they look at you, they want to change. You can only change yourself. These are some of the things I did not know when I was in some of these relationships that become bad relationships because I was trying to change the person. I thought if I only just do this, or if I only become this, or if I only do that, and if I only do this, then this person will be what I want them to be. And oh my God, I was working my whole, and I was hurting. Amen to you, brother. I'm trying, Thank you, World of Wonder. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So you have to look at these things. You have to look at these things, and you have to make these decisions before, because you're gonna realize, all right. You ever wonder why and how is it that some people could be together? How some people could be together for 15 years, 20 years, even 30 years, and then get a divorce? How could you spend 30 30 years with someone and then get a divorce and they want a divorce. How is that possible? Some of your relationship, you've been with your woman, you've been with that man longer than you've been with your parents. But it end up in divorce. And what is the divorce rate now? More than 50%? Why is that? Why are people getting divorced? Take it from me. I know what I'm talking about because I've been divorced. I was married 10 years, divorce. I tell you, I've had a couple of failed relationships. I at one point given up on relationships because I felt like, you know what? It's not for me. It's not for me. That's not working out for me. So I'm just going to do my thing. I'm going to have this woman and then toss her and you know, and anyone who gets close to my heart. I was so guarded, man. I was so guarded in my heart that I would not let you in. That I only exposed 20% of my heart. My mind, 20%. You're only going to know 20%. And you're lucky if you get that 20% because I was so hurt. And I didn't think there was love out there for me because, you know, people love me for one thing or another, but people don't truly love me. They love me because I'm tall. They love me because of the way I speak. They love me because of the way I look. They love me because I can do this and I can do that. But do they really get to know me and love me and put up with me and still want more of me in spite? I've never find that relationship until I met my beautiful wife. And I was guarded. I was so guarded, I told her straight to her face. I said, you're not getting but 20% of me. That's how damaged I was. And I was damaged because I was out there doing all types of things with all types of women. And what I did not realize is that how I was hurting myself in the process. You see, when you have multiple partners, ladies and gentlemen, what you're doing, you're hurting yourself. You're not only hurting those people that you're sleeping around with, you're hurting yourself in the process. Because when you find the woman you want to be with, guess what you're thinking about? The multiple partners that you've been with. And the multiple partners that you're with can't all accomplish the desires that you want. You've been with this one, she's a great kisser. I'm just speaking from a man perspective here, but it applies to the women as well. This one's a great kisser, so I like to be with her. This one does great things, you know, sexually, so I like that one. This one, just emotionally, I connect emotionally, are my feelings. And you like these different things for different reasons. Now you find the woman you truly want to be with, you find the man you truly want to be with, and then guess what? She doesn't have all these qualities in these different women or different men that you've been with. So now he's lacking something. So every time you're with her or every time you're with him and you're lacking in an area, guess what you're thinking? You're thinking about that person. And if that person is in your grasp, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go find that person because you're missing it. You're not getting it here. You're going to go find it. And that's why people have multiple relationships. Because they're never satisfied. They're not content in their relations. So we're going to look at the word relate to relate. And that's one, this is very, very important. Before you even think about being in a relationship, this is very, very important. You got to be able to relate. Blessed and healthy favors. Matthew 12, 34, 36. The abundance of the health of the mouth speak. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. He said heart. H-E-A-R-T. Okay, heart. That's true. That is a message from the Messiah. Out of the abundance of the heart. So I'm speaking from the abundance of my heart. And that's very important to watch what people say because the mind, everything is in the mind. So in order for you, if you're going to get into a relationship with a person or you're in a relationship right now, you need to stop what you're doing right now because guess what? Not because you're with the person 15 years or 10 years mean that you're in love with the person. Not because you're with the person 10 years, 15, 20 years that mean that you still want to be with that person. Every day is a new day, ladies and gentlemen. And yesterday's victories are not sufficient for today. Let me say that one more time just in case someone didn't hear it. Yesterday's victories are not sufficient for today. So if you're coming into today's a relationship, a relation, or coming into today and you're bringing in yesterday's experience to make it today, you're gonna fail big time. Yesterday's yesterday. You learn from it. You add to it. You multiply it. But yesterday's gone. So I want you to always remember that yesterday is gone. So if you were hurt yesterday, you don't have to be hurt today. If you were mad yesterday, you don't have to be mad today. Learn from it. So look at your partner and ask yourself the question, can I put up with this person for the rest of my life? All the negative stuff. Now, don't look at the positive stuff. The positive stuff will blind you. This is what got you into this relationship in the first place, that you probably don't even want to be in anymore, because you looked at the nice stuff people do. Don't you know, when I met my wife, I looked nice. All my face was nice. She'd never see me. She never even heard me fart. Okay? When I was with her, I didn't want to fart in her presence, right? Because I just think that, no, I wanted to show her all my good side. She never heard me fart. But after we've been together for some time, I just stop. Now I just fart. Right? Because things change and you adapt as you grow with someone. So what if she didn't like a farter? She would have problems. They got me a shirt. I have it right here in my closet. It says greatest farter. The greatest farter. My kids got me that shirt. So I just fart. And I thought, when you can fart in someone's presence, you develop in a relationship of understanding, of love. Trust me, it's there's some craziness to this. All right, so that's one of the first thing you want to do. You want to make sure that you look at everything negative about your partner, everything, and I mean everything negative. Write a list if you have to, and then look at it and ask yourself, can I deal with that for the rest of my life? And let me just give you one advice. I don't like to give advice, but let me give you one. If when you look at that list and you can't deal with that, you better run. Run as fast as you can, because you will not be able to change those things. And if you're going to try to be in a relationship and spend your life trying to change that, you're going to be very, very disappointed. So look at the list. If you cannot deal with it, run. But if you can deal with it, now you have a relation. All right, let's go relate. Now you can relate. Okay, so we look up the word relate, and it means make or show a connection between. Make or show a connection between. Make or show a connection between. Feel sympathy with. Identify with. Feel sympathy with and identify with. So when you start a relationship, you better get to the word relate first, because relate is the core word that makes the relationship. Can you relate to this person? Can you relate to this person? Are you making or showing a connection between you and this person? The first connection is that attractions. You're attracted to this person for one reason or not. Why are you attracted to that person? Are you attracted to their body? Are you attracted to their smile? Are you attracted to their good looks? What attracts you to the person in the first place? Because here's the thing, and you must understand this, ladies and gentlemen. That attraction is only an attraction. It's not love. It's attraction. It means that is the thing by which you receive to pull you guys together, like magnet to steel. Imagine if you are one side of the magnet, or you're the steel and she's the magnet, and you're like, boop, and this is the way you're going to stay forever. You're not going to like that. You're going to smother each other. And a lot of time in relationship, partners are smothering each other. You're giving too much, you're not receiving, and you're not letting go. And so when the person try to breathe, you don't let them breathe. You just want to stick onto them like a glue. And the more they run away from you, the more you run away from them. and your relationship is like this, and you think you're in love, and but you don't realize that you're actually in trouble. You got to allow your partner to leave. You Men are like, there's a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I suggest everybody read that book. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Because I read that book and changed my life. It actually opened my eyes to see some things that I did not realize when I was in those relationships. But now that I'm in my relationship, I try to study and work on my relationship. And here's the thing, guys, relationships needs take work. It's something you got to study. It's something that you got to improve upon daily. Because yesterday's victories are not sufficient for today. So you making that connection, and that connection has to be made every day. It has to be made every day. Think of your relationship like your phone, right? If you don't plug it up and charge it up, what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to get the service from the phone. So a relationship needs to be charged, and it needs to be charged every day. And how is a relationship charged? You both have lives. You both have kids. You have kids, you got work, you got responsibility. And sometimes you focus your attention on your work. You focus your attention on your responsibilities and the things you want to accomplish. You have no time to recharge. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Regardless of the fact if you're a stay-at-home mom, you got 1 or 4 kids, 1 or 10 children. Regardless of the fact that you're going out and to work and come home and cook and do all these different things, let me say this to you now, and let me say to you straight. You have to make time for your husband. Don't think because you serve him his dinner, or you sit in the couch with your man, when he comes home from work, or you might chit-chat a little bit, that you're spending time with him. He needs romance. I don't think women understand this. I can't tell you how many women I have counseled on romance. Your man needs romance. He might not act like he needs it, but he does. Romance for a man is different from romance for a woman. The type of romance a man needs, he needs you beside him. Come to the couch and don't sit over there. Get beside him. But you must understand something. He doesn't need a lot of it. This is what you need to understand, because a female needs a lot more romance than a man does. A man don't need a lot of romance. He needs romance, but he don't need a lot of it. After a while, he's going to push you away. But he needs it. So give him his 15, 20, 30 minutes of it. Once he gets that, once he's filled up, think of your man like a car. Think of him like a car, right? You fill him up with gas, and he can go 4 days. Or maybe you go 7 days with the tank of gas. But then you're going to have to refill him up again. Maybe your man is like a car where you fill him up with gas, but he never likes his gas to go below half. So these are the things that you have to know. You're welcome, Rebecca. These are the things that you have to know. Banloe, you know it, man. Zakan, enough love. Right? Married 24 years? That's amazing. Well, can you concur to some of the things that I'm saying here? Rebecca? 24 years, that's beautiful. I'm 19. I'm coming to get you. I'm coming up there at 24. Because I want to grow old with my wife. I want to go old till we share each other's teeth. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Right? So maybe your man is, he likes his tank. Every time his tank gets to half full, he wants to recharge it. You have to recognize these things. So you must make time for your man. I can't say you're busy. Yes, you're going to school, you're working, you're with the kids, you're paying half the rent and half the bills. You have a lot on your plate. There's no joke about that. You have a lot on your plate. What more can you do? You're expended. I'm telling you, you got to find a way. You got to find a way to make it happen. Get rid of the kids. Call grandma, hey, can you take the kids? Get rid of the kids. Make his house a place he can come home to. And I'm going to deal with the men in a minute, because you might be working, paying half the bills. You have the kids, you're taking care of the kids, you're cooking and cleaning, and he's going out and he's working, and that's all he does. He work and he pays the bills. But you go out, you work, you pay the bills, you cook, you clean. It's a lot on your shoulders. And I'm gonna talk to the man in a bit about that, because gentlemen, if you have a wife that is not a domestic engineer, y'all heard that, right? Domestic engineer. I didn't say stay-at-home mom. I just think stay-at-home mom is such a derogatory term in my book. You know, this is just my opinion. What do you do? I'm a stay-at-home mom. It's so derogatory. Like, no. It's a prestige job. It's a prestige responsibility. She's not a stay-at-home mom. Coin this word here. She's a domestic engineer. I have to tell you, first time I heard that from a sister in Maine. I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm a domestic engineer. I was like, wow. I said, permission to use that. I said, permission to use that. And she gave me the permission to use it. So I'm giving you the permission, gentlemen. I'm giving you the permission, ladies. You're not a stay-at-home mother. You are a domestic engineer. It takes great heart, great patience, great time to do what you do. You're a domestic engineer. So don't ever call yourself a stay-at-home mom. You're a domestic engineer. Meet my husband in Jamaica. Yeah, man, big up yourself. You did good, you did good. You did good, man. I'm still at work. Okay. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about the work thing for the men. But let me talk to the women right now. So ladies, if you are working, paying half the bills, taking care of the kids, cooking, and you married to a guy, or you're living with a guy who goes to work and work and come home, pays and pay the bills, but he ain't doing none of the cooking and he's not helping out with the kids, you're in a bad situation. And I'm gonna tell you why you're in a bad situation. Because you're gonna be overworked. You're producing 80% of the issues. You're producing 80% of the quality of the life of that family, and you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out, and your needs are not going to be met, and you're not going to be that lover you can be. You're not going to be that person that support you can be, because you're so overworked. So let me talk to the men. Men, it's time for you to step up your game, ladies. Men. Time for you to step up your game. You can't expect this woman to go to work, pay half the bills, come home, cook the meal, not only for you but for the family, and take care of you, and be emotionally satisfying to you, and do all these things, and you get to just come home and relax and just chill in the couch. No, ladies and gentlemen. No, ladies. No, gentlemen. So I'm talking to the men. If that's you, if you're that father, it is time for you to step up your game. If she's paying half the bills in the house, you as a man needs to take half the responsibility in the house. You don't want to hear that, because you grew up traditionally where the woman does everything. But that's only if she's a domestic engineer. If she's a stay-at-home mom, that's different. There's a difference from her to be a domestic engineer. Then she's supposed to make sure that the house is clean. She's supposed to make sure that the kids are taken care of, the food is made, and she needs to have that done before you get home. Ladies, I'm going to come back to you, but I want to deal with the men. If your woman is working and producing half the income, or even contributing to the income, you have to step up your game in the house, especially if you come home before her. If you come home before her, if you get off at work at 4 o'clock and she gets off at 5 o'clock, that means you'll be home an hour before her. Then you need to be home. You need to go home and make sure those raggedy kids clean up the room and make sure the food is made. I used to get home before my wife, and I cook. I cooked. When my wife come home, the place is clean. You understand me? The place is clean. The food is cooked. I used to pack her lunch to take it to work. Okay? Because I come home before her. There's no reason why I should let her come home and cook after I've been home an hour. Make her come home and clean after I've been home an hour. Make she come home and take care of the rowdy kids and do homework while I am home. When she come home, she should relax. And that's how I treated my wife. And then when my wife become a stay at home, so-called, when she become a domestic engineer, then she took all the responsibility. Ladies, you cannot allow and cannot ask your husband to come home from a hard day's work, clean house, throw out garbage, doing all these things in the house when you've been home all day. It is not right. It is not fair. You're not going to have a marriage for long. He's not going to want to come home. If you're a domestic engineer, man, you got to make sure that house is clean. What you don't understand is this, and I see this happen so many times with women. The husband leave you one way, and he goes to work, and he comes home, and you're still the same way. You're still in that old nightie or that old pajama you wear. You still tie up your head. You still look like garbage. I'm not saying you're garbage. I'm just expressing the way you look, right? You just look plain. So he left you that way this morning. He went to work. He come home and you're still the same way. You have no respect for your husband. If you truly respect your husband and you truly love him, he should come home and see you looking nice. Do up your hair nicely. If you wear makeup, put on a little bit. You don't have to go extra. Put on a little bit. Get yourself nice. Smell nice. The house should be clean. The kids should be clean. The dinner should be ready. When he walks through that house, ladies and gentlemen, when he walks through the door, he should be walking to a haven. What you don't understand, when he's out there, he's bombarded by all types of women that is looking at him, that is telling him all things. He's bombarded with all types of pressure from work and, trying to pay the bills, and there's a lot on his mind. So when he comes home, you should have a haven waiting for him. You greet him at the door. How many of you greet your husband at the door when he comes home? Or he just come in the same way. He come in, hi honey, you're watching TV or you're on the phone with your friends. He's not important to you. That's my husband. He just came home. When your husband come home, you should be there ready to greet him. Take off his shoes. Take his bag. Kiss him. Tell him, honey, your dinner's in the microwave, or the dinner, or if the dinner is not served, are you ready to eat, baby? You know what I mean? And then you put him on the couch, you sit on his favorite couch, and you get him his dinner. The kids and everybody hugged him and kissed him, and then you tell the kids to go to their room. Give him a 10, 15, 20 minutes to unwind. You go to your room and let him unwind, watch the television, eat his food, laugh, talk with his friends, do whatever. Because once he unwind, guess who he's going to want? He's going to want wifey. Come sit with me. Maybe he'll tell you, sit with me and talk with me while I eat. Then you sit with him and talk with him while I eat. And you be empathetic with him just like you like him to be empathetic with you. Because men need that stuff. I need that stuff. My wife does that for me all the time. She kissed me in the morning when I leave for work, and she kissed me in the afternoon when I come home. And I would stand at the door. I would not even come inside until my wife greets me, because it does something for me. It empowers me. It gives me the fuel I need, because we have that connection. When I left for work, I disconnect with her. I'm not thinking about her. I'm not thinking about the kids. I'm thinking about my job. My mind is on my job. My mind is on my work. At lunchtime, I'm reconnecting with her at lunchtime. Break time, I'm reconnecting with her. You see what I'm saying? But then I disconnect again because I'm focusing on work. So once I get off work, I'm connected. Ladies, here's something that pisses your husband off, but you might not know you're doing it. So he goes to work. He's out there. Then he comes home, he greets you. He didn't get the greeting, he didn't get nothing, the house is a mess. And then you tell him, oh honey, can you go out and get me milk? We run out of milk, or we run out of Pampers. If you know how much that ticks your husband off, man, make a list of things you want your husband to bring home. Don't wait till he comes home to tell him you need these things, because now he has to go back out. Once he come home, he's not looking to go back out. He doesn't want to go back out. So if you know you need something, make a list in the morning, put it in his lunch pan or something. Say, baby, You know, when you're coming home, can you bring home this? We're short of this, that. So you must understand the relate. You must be able to relate. And to relate is to make or show a connection between you and that person. Is to feel sympathy with, identify with. And that's one of the relationship killers. Most most people in relationship can't identify with each other. I heard a Facebook post with a woman cursing out her husband, and the husband was videotaped it and put it online. Imagine that. But anyway, the husband put it online, and the woman was saying, "I don't want to work no more. I don't want to work no more. I want to stay home and take care of the kids. Take care of your kids. I don't want to go out there and work." And then she started talking about, "Oh, you need to go get a second job. You need to go get a second job so I can stay home and die. I don't want to do that anymore. You don't understand me." Now they're married. They have 4 children together. But she's at a place where she just feels like she needs to be home. But here's the thing. She said he makes $15 an hour. So $15 an hour is not enough money for you to stay home. But she doesn't care. I don't care. I don't care. I got my money. Listen to it. I got my money. Oh my God. Let me talk about this. When you're in a relationship, we haven't got to relationship yet. We only at relate. When you're in a relationship, ladies and gentlemen, it's not your money. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that and heard that. My money is my money. Her money is her money. My money is our money. I've seen that. I've experienced that in my past relationship. Both of us working, both of us live together, but I'm paying all the bills in the house. What are you doing with your money? No, what are you doing with our money? Because your money is our money. And many, many times the women think that because it's the husband's duty to take care of the family. It's the husband's duty to take care of the family. Where did you get that ideology from? It's the husband's duty to take care of the family. It is not the husband's duty to take care of the family. It is our duty to take care of the family. Whenever the husband doing anything on his own, you're in a lopsided relationship. Try flying a plane with only one wing. You were created to be a helper, right? Are you not a helper? You're supposed to help your husband. The husband's supposed to love their wife. How can I love you and allow you to do everything? How can you be my helper and you're making me do all the work? You're not helping. You're devastating this thing. And that's why men goes out and women goes out, because they're looking for something they're not getting in their marriage. It is our responsibility. When we become man and wife, it is our responsibility. So yes, I cook, ladies and gentlemen. I wash, and I can wash with my hands. I cook, I wash, I clean. It's our responsibility. Now, when my wife became a domestic engineer and she said she wanted to stay home, I asked her one question. I asked her 2 questions actually. I said, the first question I asked her was, okay, I make enough money for both of us. See? I didn't say, well, what are we going to do? I said, I make enough money for both of us. If I didn't make enough money for both of us, there's no way she could stay home. But I made enough money that I could support the family. Okay, good. What does that mean for you to be a stay-at-home mom? What does it mean for you? And she said, I want to take care of my husband and my children. Okay, that's fair enough. Do you know what that means for me, for you to be a stay-at-home mom? You see? She has to think about me as well. How her staying home is going to affect me. How her staying home going to affect me. Because we're in this relationship together. What is my ideology of a stay-at-home mother and wife? What is my ideology? And I had to tell her, here's my ideology of a stay-at-home mom and wife. It means I get to do nothing in the house. Now, I know some of you might think that is unfair, but hear my reasoning. I get to do nothing in the house. You're a stay-at-home mom. That means for 8 hours you're working in the house. You don't come out there and work with me, and you don't get to help me at work. So why do I need to come here and help you at work? Because this is part of your duty as a stay-at-home mom. When you were at work, I come home and do everything with you. But now that you're home, not doing anything with you. Shouldn't have to. If you're managing your time well. Stay at home doesn't mean you get to be on the phone all day with your friends. Stay at home don't mean that you get to watch TV and do what you want, sleep late. No. Stay at home mean that you get to organize yourself and organize your time. Because now your time revolves not around work, but around your husband and your children. It revolves around you. I know some of you was going to say it revolve around no. It revolve around you because it's your domain. So you got to get up in the morning and you got to set up your plan. And so you got to have a schedule for your life now because you want more time for yourself. You don't want to be working 24 hours. Nobody works 24 hours. And if you sleep 8 hours, you don't want to be working the next, 16 hours. You want to manage your time well. So what time do you get up? Do you get up at 8 o'clock? What time do your husband go to work? Do you get up and make the husband breakfast in the morning? Some of you don't, but you should. But maybe he doesn't want it. Do you make breakfast or something that he can take as he go to work? Maybe he's driving. Maybe he could eat a sandwich or something. Save some money on buying breakfast when he gets to work. So what is your daily plan? What time do you get up? Do you get up with your husband or not? And all right, say your husband not interested in breakfast. Do you get up at 8 o'clock or do you get up at 10 o'clock? And if you get up at 10 o'clock, what time your husband come home? See, these are things that you got to look at. What time do your husband come home? Does he come home 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock? Will your work be done and you are relaxed before he comes home? Will the house clean, the food cook, the children bathe, their hair plait up, they look nice? And will you have time to unwind, play your game, watch TV, talk to friends, unwind so when he comes home, he can have your full attention? Is that how you're planning your day? Or when he comes home, you need him to help you work. You need him to help you with the kids. You need him to help you around the house. And what's the sense of you staying home? Because now he has to go out and work and come back and work. And you're not even in a mode for him. You're not even in a mode for him. You're not in a place where you can actually receive him. So now you have to plan your day. You have to plan your week. You have to plan your month. So ladies, you need to have a plan. If you're a domestic engineer, stay-at-home mom, you need to have a plan. You get up at 8 o'clock. Okay? You get the kids ready. You drop them off to school, or you put them on the bus. When the kids go to school, come back. When you take out the meat, you know exactly what you're going to cook. So, but say you go to school, you come back in an hour. So say you get up at 8, and you get the kids to school, they get them on the bus, and then now you're talking about 9:30. From 9:30 to 12 o'clock, you should finish cooking, because you already know what you're going to cook. The meat and season the night before, etc., etc. You done cook, right? The kids might get off of school maybe 1 or 3 o'clock. The house is already clean. So between cooking, and then you clean up all the house. And if you're a good take care, you wouldn't have much to do more than spread up the bed and just do a little knicks-knacks there, and then that is done, right? So by the time the kids come home, they take a bath, you get them homework done, you get them snacks, they're good until dinner time. When hubby comes home, y'all meet at the table. Maybe you eat together as a family. Maybe you feed the kids before the husband come home. You know what I mean? So that he can have some time by himself, and then you feed him separate. I don't know. But if you eat together, then so be it, right? And you're just ready for him, and you do it over and over again. You should have a plan about what you're going to cook tomorrow. So you should have a weekly plan. So if I'm going to cook steak today, I'm going to cook soup tomorrow, I'm going to cook broccoli the next day, blah, blah, blah. You should have a weekly plan so you know exactly what to cook. So when you go shopping, you know exactly what to buy. You're not just buying on the whim. Well, what should I cook today? You don't know what to cook. No, you should sit down with your husband and say, what would you like to eat? What should we make for dinner? We're going to make chicken on Sunday. We're going to make steak on Monday. We're going to make fish on Tuesday. We're going to make this on Thursday. Friday, we're not going to cook. You should get a day out the kitchen. My wife get a day out the kitchen. Her day out the kitchen is Thursday. Thursdays are day out the kitchen. She don't cook on Thursdays because we do this big cooking on Friday for Shabbat, right? So she, so it just works out. She gets to rest up for the big cook. You see what I'm saying? So all these things that you need to have a system, and a system makes you function great. Men, if your wife is not working, you must also think about her. Bring home flowers from time to time. Bring home her favorite juice. With one juice, two straws. And just, you sup it together. Do some things. Make it romantic. Remember when you first met her, the things you did to get her. Don't forget those things. Go back to some of those things. The place you used to go with her. Take her back to some of those places. Rehash those old memories. Light those old fires once again. You know what I mean? Relation. Make that connection. That connection must be made daily. Make or show a connection between you and your spouse, you and your girlfriend, you and your boyfriend. Feel sympathy with or identify with. This is very important in a relationship. To identify with the person, to understand what they're going through, to truly understand, not to talk because you want to talk so that you can get what you have to say out, but to identify with his feelings, with his emotion, identify with her feelings and emotion, stop, try to understand, think before you speak. All right, I think I beat the dead horse out of relate. Now let's look at the word relations. I'm going to close up here. Look at the word relations. Relations is the way in which two or more concept, object, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. So that's why relation and relate is almost the same thing. The way. So the relation, to relate is to show empathy and to connect, right? But relation is the way in which two people are. So the difference now is the way. How are you connecting to your spouse, to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend? How are you connecting? What are you doing? Ways. Most people don't understand the ways of their husband. They don't understand the ways of their lover. You don't know how he thinks. You got to know how he thinks. You, sir, have to know how she thinks. That's where the study comes in. When it comes to relationships, that's where the study comes in. You have to know how each other thinks. Because if you don't know, you're going to be hurt by them. They're going to hurt you subconsciously, and you don't know it because you don't understand their ways. The trait, the ways in which someone thinks. It's very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to relationship. You got to know you got to know them. What makes them think? What they like. One of the biggest downfall I see in relationships today, one spouse is not doing what the other person likes. You think cooking food for him because you cook every week, that's loving him. That's not loving him. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, mostly ladies here, you think because you wash his clothes, make up his bed, cook his food, and give him some from time to time, you think you're loving him. That's not loving him. That's not how he feels love. Because if he's not in the picture, you have to cook. Don't you have to cook for yourself? Don't you have to cook for your child, your kids? If he's not in the picture, you still have to cook. If he's not in the picture, you still have to clean. So cooking and cleaning doesn't make a man feel loved. It makes him feel respected, but it doesn't make him feel loved. What makes a man feel loved is when you do the things that pleases him. I'm going to take a silent on that one here. I'm going to take a silent on that one. I'm going to just take a moment. I want you to really Let that sink in for a second. We're talking about relationships, ladies and gentlemen. The way in which two or more concept, object, or people are connected. Ways. Do you know his ways? Why does he like to hang out with his friends and not come straight home after work? Why is that? You want him straight home after work, but he go hang out with his boys. Why is that? You got to learn his ways. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you are the problem. The only peace he's going to get is if he just hang out with his boys. And that's because you're not in a place to receive him. You don't know his ways. Do you know when he wants some? I'm going to use some so we don't go over, I want to make sure that I'm not breaking community standard here, right? Do you know when he wants some? How long can he goes before he really needs you in that way? Do you know these things? Is he the type of guy that goes every other day? Is he the kind of guy that goes every day? What about, is he the guy that goes every week? Is he the guy that is not coming at all? Why? Why is he not coming? Why does he go every day and not every other day? Why does he go every week? Why, when he gets his tank full, he can go 7 days and not look at you again? Does that mean that you're not desirable? No, you have to understand his ways. Guys, do you understand the ways of your spouse, your wife, your girlfriend? Do you understand their ways? Intercourse starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. A woman like to be stimulated here before there can work. Before there work properly, she needs to be stimulated here. So you got to plant some images in her mind. You got to tell her some things along with your touch and your feel. That's the romantic side of you. Bring her flowers, bring some ice, bring a candy. These are the little things that you need to learn about your woman so you can better. I heard a story back in the days that husband and wife had this little thing that they would do. I heard two stories. There was a light switch. There's a lamp in the bedroom, and the lamp had a red light. They screw a red light in the bedroom. And when one of them are feeling for that time, the red light goes on. Maybe you need a red light. Maybe you need something to get you thinking. Because one of the things that I notice in relationship and why relationship gets sour and people get drifts apart is because no one is thinking anymore. We become such doers. We got to do the laundry. We got to go do the shopping. We got to take the kids to school and take them to the game. And we got to go to work. We got to pay the bills. We got to get this education. We got to talk to our friends. We got to call our mom. We got to do all these things. And yet nobody's thinking about the other person. And if you're in a relationship, each other's needs should be even put before yours. If you're the woman and you're giving to your husband and she's the man and she's giving to you, what a relationship would you have? You'll have a wonderful relationship. But here's the downfall. Here's the downfall in that. You're giving. He's giving, that he stopped giving to himself. Ugh. If I'm giving you guys good Gemini, I want to know about it. So make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you tell me if this episode has helped you greatly. I need to know. I need your feedback, okay? And I also need your subscription. So make sure you're subscribing, liking, and sharing this page. We need to get to 4,000. Help me get to 4,000. Because after we get to 4,000, I need you to help me get to 5,000. Because more and more people need the gems that I have to throw down here. And I got a lot of gems because I have a lot of experience not because I'm better or greater than anyone. It's just I have experience that I like to share. Shalom, Ake. Super contagious energy, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yaraka. If I say you not your name, Yaka. Oh man, Yaka. Bat Ashar. Yeah, man. This is how I roll, man. This is me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me all the time. I'm not putting on a show for you. This is not rehearsed. That's why I like live, because I don't like to edit stuff. I want you to see me for who I am. I want when you meet me, you're gonna see that I am who you see on the screen, because this is just who I am. It's who I am, guys. I have a gift. I receive a gift from Yahweh. Yahweh is the God of the Hebrews, the one we worship, right? And he gave me this gift, and I have to share it with the world. I have to share it with the world. So yes, so relationship, man, and I'm getting ready to close up here now. I'm closing very soon. But understanding these simplicities, the simplicity of the relationship is gonna make it last. It needs fire. Relationship is like a fire. It needs fuel. It has to be fueled, and it has to be fueled every single day. It needs to be recharged, and it has to be recharged every single day. Yesterday's victories are not sufficient for today. So not because you did something yesterday means it's going to last 5 days. No. You must understand that each other's emotional tanks needs to be filled all the time. You have to be aware of that. Her emotional tank, your emotional tank. You must understand this very, very important part. Yes, you can give yourself to the bitter end. But if you're not giving to yourself, you're going to lose yourself in the relationship. And if you lose yourself in the relationship, you don't have a relationship. You got to take care of yourself. And what I mean, I'm not talking about, oh, I got to go lose weight or this, not. I'm not talking about it. I told my wife, if you put on 100 pounds and you weigh 300, I love you more. That's just more for me to love. Because, the things that attract you, like I said in the beginning, the things that attract you to her are attracted to him may not be there 10 years from now. He may not look as good as he looked 10 years before when you met him or her. So you can't let that's just an attraction. That's what got you looking at her or at him in the first place. Don't expect that to be there. It's superficial. Work on your relationship. Work on your connection. The ways. Learn her ways. And have those conversations. And learn to separate the person from the issue. Most of you are fighting over this little black box being the issue. This is the issue, but you're fighting each other. And you're making each other the enemy. And you're saying bad things and really horrible things. And you're talking about your spouse, the person you love, to your friends, and you're putting them in a bad light. And your peers, you put them in a bad light. Let me tell you something. It's not the person that is the problem. It's the issue. Deal with the black box. Because you're going to say something to your spouse, you're going to regret that. And later on, you're going to try to apologize. You're going to try to love that person. But you already wounded them because you never dealt with the issue. Most people see the symptoms of the problem, and they try to fix the symptoms, and they try to cure the symptoms or heal the symptoms. But the underlying issue is still there. Deal with the issue. Deal with the issue. And don't bring yesterday and last week issue into this week issue. Deal with your issues one issue at a time. So if you're dealing with this, don't bring up yesterday thing. Because now you add yesterday to today, and you find out that you will be arguing over yesterday and the day before that, and the issue of today is still here. Deal with the issue of today. Like I would tell my wife, when I come to you with an issue, I tell my wife, when I come to you with an issue, don't tell me what I did to you 10 days ago. I don't care about that. Now I know that hurt your feelings. I love you enough to be able to hurt your feelings. I can hurt your feelings, and I will hurt your feelings. Sometimes I will do it on purpose, and sometimes I won't. I'll do it not on purpose. I can hurt your feelings. You can hurt my feelings. It is okay because that hurt feeling leads to the conversation that's going to heal the issue. So I'm not afraid to hurt your issue, but I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings by telling you something that you need to know. I'm not afraid to hurt you by telling you that you're hurting me. But if I come to you to tell you that you're hurting me, it's not your time to tell me that I'm hurting you. Well, you hurt me too. That's you evading. I don't want an evasion. I want you to hear what I'm saying. Deal with my issue and then come back later on and deal with your issue. And why is it that you wait till I have an issue to tell me that you have an issue? It's not the time. That means you have no mind to solve the issue I'm having because you're not focusing on my issue. You're focusing on your ways. And it's vice versa. If your wife comes to you and talk to you about an issue, it's not for you to tell her, well, you left the dishes in the sink. Honey, you left the dishes in the bedroom. But you left the dishes in the sink. No. Go deal with the issue in the bedroom. And then deal with the issue in the sink. And then some other time, you talk about the issue in the sink. You some other time say, honey, you know what? The other day you told me about the bedroom, how I left the dishes in the bedroom, and you were so adamant about that. And I see my place in that. And I tell you, going forward, I'm going to make a promise not to leave the dishes in the bedroom. But what kind of hurt me, and what I'm looking at is how you're so focused on the dishes that I left in the bedroom, but you're not focused on the dishes that you left in the sink. And you don't have to go any further. You just say, this bothers me because you're on me about the bed, me leaving the dishes in the bedroom, but you're not concerned about you leaving the dishes in the sink. So how about I don't leave the dishes in the bedroom and you don't leave the dishes in the sink? And if I see you leave a dish in the sink, I'm not going to come and say to you, honey, you left the dish in the sink. I'm just going to wash the dishes that you left in the sink. And if you see me leave it in the bedroom, even though I'm promised that I won't do it, if you see me leave the dishes in the bedroom, why don't you just bring the dishes, why don't you bring it down or bring it to me? Instead of like, hey, honey, you left this in the bedroom. Instead of saying, you left this in the bedroom. You see, there's a way to handle things that can make things run so smooth and get your point across without hurting the initial person. If this was helpful to you, please, I need your encouragement because I want to know if you want to hear more on it. I want to know if you want more of my experience. And if you have any topics that you would like to hear or anything that you like, from my experience to help you with, maybe I can help, please drop a line on my page. Follow me on my channels, and who knows? Maybe you'll just give me or fuel me with more things that I'm able to share with you. I love doing this kind of things. I didn't have this when I was growing up. I had no one to share this with me. I grew up with two women. My grandmother was my dad, and my mother was my mother, and my grandmother took care of us. And I learned everything from my parents, my grandmother and my mom. I had no father figure in my life. So as a man, I had no father figure to talk to me about relationship. I had a dad, but I didn't have a dad, if you know what I'm talking about. And so I learned these things as I grew up. I made a lot of mistakes. And so that's why I'm able to share my life with you and be able to give you the gems and the wisdom that I have, because I've made these mistakes, correct these mistakes, and watching them work for me, I'm hoping that it could work for you. And that's why I do these things. All right? So until next time, I'm Meka Albania Osher Al, and I just want to say thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you guys a lot. And I hope that you guys follow my pages. Truth Matters Broadcasting is broadcast live on YouTube at Michael Sewell SR, and on YouTube. It's on TikTok. Akay once more, AKHAY once more, and on I do have a podcast, Podbean podcast that I do, but I'm having a little difficulties with the clarity when I upload it. So I have not done yet until I work out the kinks, but you can also upload some videos I have there. It's very, very encouraging. So you should be able to find me on all the platforms where podcasts are streamed. But if you can't, you could go straight to Podbean and you look up Process to Purpose. Process to Purpose. Check me out there. Process to Purpose. Now, the most important one that I definitely want you to like and follow me on is Now Living in the Philippines. Now Living in the Philippines is we, my wife and I, we've made a decision to move, sold our forever house, give up our businesses, say goodbye to our family and friends to move to this beautiful country of the Philippines. I love it here. I should have moved here 10 years ago. Love it here, and I'm sharing my experience with you from the Philippines and sharing my experience with you for those who are moving to the Philippines or moving to other countries. We hope that if you are from the children of Ya'oshar Al, meaning that you can chase your lineage through the transatlantic slave trade, then you are the children of Ya'oshar Al, or the children of Israel, and then you can, understand why we're here in the Philippines. So this is just to help everyone. So please like, subscribe, and follow that channel. And Now Living in the Philippines. It's the only channel that I'm being monetized in. This is my only channel that I've been monetized in, and this channel will become my sole source of income. So if you do like it and you do subscribe and share it, and just share it on your page, and just invite your friends to follow me there, you're helping support this ministry by supporting me. So thank you again. I thank you, and to this I say good night, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Until next time, I'm Maker Al Ban Ya'oshar Al. Peace. 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 All right. All right. So now that I stopped the live on the other channels, I'm still here on Now Living in the Philippines, and I just wanted to know if any one of you have any questions before I go. I would like to, maybe answer some questions you might have. I will do a question and answer live, but for right now, this is my first one, and I choose this time to do it. So tell me what's the best time to go live, and that works for your community or your neighborhood, so that I can know this better. But if you have any questions right now is the time to ask them. So I'll do this 5 minutes, 10 minutes of question and answer. Anyone there that has any questions? And if we don't get to answer those questions now, or if you think about a question, if you watch this when it goes public, in terms of it's on my page, you ask the questions and I'll answer them via a message. So, any questions? All right, I see no questions coming up. All right. Post your questions and I will answer them after. So shout out to Sync It Up 223. Shout out to you. Thank you. And shalom again to Unhanded and Yahoo Kamal. Thank you. Rebecca, thank you. Thank you all. Peace.